This is Cooper Flagg. At 6'9" and over 200 pounds, he has established himself as one of the rising stars of high school basketball over the past few years. He was the #1 player in his high school class. He's headed to Duke next season, already has all of the tools that you'd want from a future NBA star. And in an absolutely stacked draft class, is the projected #1 overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft. And what makes this story special is that Flagg has earned a rare opportunity to do something that hasn't been done in over a decade for just a college player, much less a rising college freshman. To play against LeBron James, Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, an absolutely stacked Team USA, which is the best possible way to prepare for the next NBA draft. But this video isn't about the draft, it's about what's happening with this guy right now. Right now, Team USA basketball is preparing to go to the Olympics, and Flagg is a member of the Team USA select team. Now, he's not on the actual Team USA roster, but this is a group of players that go to training camp and play against the actual Olympic team. And this roster is generally made up of up-and-coming players in the NBA. So you've got Brandon Miller, Jabari Smith, Jalen Duren, Jaime Jaquez, and others. But when you look at the roster, one thing stands out. There's this high school kid that's out there that's playing with high-level NBA players and against the best Olympic roster that we've put together in years, with a team full of future Hall of Famers. And by all reports, Flagg has been one of the most dominant players on the floor, not just for the select team, but for everybody. The Boston Globe says Cooper Flagg is dominating this USA scrimmage. The Washington Post added that Flagg had, quote, taken over the scrimmage. An assistant coach for the select team said that Cooper Flagg was unbelievable. He wasn't scared at all. Even his teammates, Jalen Duren, said he came in and had absolutely no fear. Jaime Jaquez said that he was playing out of his mind. Plenty of praise about his confidence, his court presence, his basketball IQ. And there's growing sentiment that Flagg can become the next great American-born basketball player. And this is extremely unusual. First of all, to have a player that just finished playing high school basketball, even on the select team, doesn't happen very often. It hasn't happened in over a decade. And honestly, you could make an argument that with the Kawhi Leonard spot now open on the roster, Cooper Flagg should be on the Olympic team. Not to say that he's one of the 12 to 15 best players in the world right now the US could put out there. That's certainly not the case. But there is a precedent for putting high school guys on the team like this, going back to having Christian Laettner. And if there has been a guy over the last handful of years to put on an Olympic team like this, it would be Cooper Flagg. And when you read these reports and you look at some of the highlights and you look at some of the scrimmages, it's just incredible to think about the fact that 6 months ago, this guy was playing high school basketball, and playing this well at his age against these players is just not normal. And not only is he playing this well, but he has all this potential because he's still so young. He's going to be like 18 and a half years old when he gets drafted next year. And all of that sets up Flagg as a truly rare NBA prospect. A guy that can produce at a high level now, but is still so young, has the confidence level to go against that Team USA team and play well right now. And that puts him on a completely different level as a prospect. Not on the Victor Wembanyama level, but certainly in a different group than your typical #1 overall pick. So you might be wondering, what kind of player is this guy? Well, he's a bit of an interesting prospect because physically he has all of the tools: athleticism, size. He's like 6'9", 6'10". He's a real legitimate like 200 plus pounds. He's going to continue to add more weight and more strength. And the athleticism and the defensive instincts are the things that really stand out for him right now, which is unusual. Typically, you have high school players that are really flashy as offensive guys. They're able to create, they're able to get to the rim, they're really good shooters, and they're just unbelievably skilled. And that side of his game is really good, but by far the standout part of his game is the athleticism and the defense. You can see a lot of those instincts in these scrimmages against, again, the best Team USA team we've had in a long time. And the biggest question for him over the last year or so, as he's really ascended into this kind of player, has been the jump shot. How well is he going to be able to space the floor? Because you can be really impactful as a 6'9", 6'10" guy with athleticism and defense and being able to get to the rim. But in today's NBA, if you want to be a focal point player on the perimeter or as kind of a combo wing in the front court, you have to be able to shoot the ball. And by all reports over the last year or so, he's really improved the jump shot, and that changes everything for him, because not only does that obviously help his overall skill set, but he gets such great elevation, has such great size on his shot that he's gonna be an incredibly dangerous perimeter player as well if that continues to grow. And the best comparison I can really make for him right now is if you go back and look, I'm not talking about right now, but if you go back and look at young Jason Tatum, like under 18 Team USA Jason Tatum, there's a lot of similarities between him and Flagg. Now, Flagg is more intense and he's a better defender, but from a skill set perspective, they're both still trying to grow a little bit more into their handle and their size and their jump shot. there's a lot of Jason Tatum in there. Now, there's some of you that might not seem like that's super impressive because Tatum wasn't a projected #1 overall pick in his class. And right now, he's obviously a very good top 10 player in the NBA, but I don't think anybody views him as the best player in the world, the way that Flagg might eventually be. But given the way that Tatum's career has panned out as a top 5 to 8 player in the league right now, if that's what Cooper Flagg turns into, you will absolutely take that with the first overall pick. And the reason all this is interesting as we lead up to the 2025 NBA draft is this is a class the teams have been loading up for a while. They knew that 2024 wasn't going to be great. They knew 23 was going to be awesome because of Victor Wembanyama. And we might see a similar level of tanking this year to what we saw for Wemby. It's not going to be quite on the same level. I don't know if we'll ever see teams really try and load up for one draft pick the way that we did with Victor Wembanyama. But Cooper Flagg, as well as the rest of this class, are just that good. Like, there is a reason that the Nets felt the need to go out and get their own 2025 first round pick back from the Rockets. There's a reason that teams have been loading up on picks in this class just to have a chance with the flattened lottery odds to maybe jump up the way that we saw the Hawks jump up in the lottery this year. If you end up with the first pick in this draft, or even just a top 3 pick in this draft, you have a real chance of getting a superstar player at the top of the 25 NBA draft class. And that is certainly one of the indicators of not only a strong draft class, but a truly elite first overall pick prospect. If you're impacting NBA roster moves before you even get to the league, if teams are dumping players and going into a rebuild and tanking just to increase their chances of getting you, you project as a truly special player. And for Cooper Flagg specifically, a year from now, when we're looking at the 2025 NBA draft, and he's probably going to be projected as the first overall guy, and everything that people are then going to know about this guy, it's all going to point back, I think, to this moment. Him getting a chance to play against these Team USA guys, and as a 17-year-old, looking like he belongs on the same floor with LeBron, Anthony Davis, and this select team, they're no slouches either. And he's out there playing a ton. They almost won a game against the actual Olympic team, by the way. And I just have a hard time believing that someone that is able to put on that kind of performance against that kind of roster isn't going to end up becoming a superstar in the NBA. Now, there is no guarantee that NBA success is truly on the horizon for Cooper Flagg. We've seen top high school players flame out before. Some players don't even get to the league. The ones that do oftentimes don't even produce at all. And so I'm sure plenty of you watching this video feel like this is all just hyperbole. But I'm telling you, being able to play in this environment against that Team USA team and not just hold your own, not just have a couple of quotes out there about how you played pretty well, but to truly stand out, not only within your own team of guys that have real NBA experience, but against a team full of, and probably entirely of, future NBA Hall of Famers. That is, at this point for Cooper Flagg, a guy that hasn't even turned 18 years old yet, the best indicator, the best possible case you could have for him being a truly special player when he gets to the NBA.